Let's see how many people show up today.
Yeah.
How's your week?
Good. How's your week?
It's been a week.
It's been a week. Okay. Hey, we've got a couple people on the stream already. Hi, everybody.
Everyone post in the chat where you're watching from.
Been a week. Well, I was pretty excited this week. We had a person land a job that she really loved.
Yeah, 2 people land a job.
Oh, who else? I must have
Actually,
missed out on somebody.
yeah, Saad got a job. He didn't say it until
Oh,
like
okay.
during the internship presentations, but he got a job last week.
Oh my God. Awesome.
Richmond, Virginia's in the building. I've been there one time. Big city. Richmond, Virginia. Okay, so we are live on YouTube. And where's everyone watching? Post in the chat where you're watching from. Richmond, Virginia. Have you ever been to Virginia?
Have I ever been to Virginia? I want to say that I went when I was in high school.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I did go there on a family trip. So I'm like from Wisconsin, for those of you who don't know me. Um, yeah, and I feel like one year we trucked it out there with like a camper trailer, and we went to see all the sites, went to DC. Yeah,
Okay.
went
That's
back to
nice.
Cheeseland.
You guys do have some good cheese. Like Wisconsin, like 6 cheese pizzas are usually really good.
6 cheese pizza.
Yeah, that's
Whoa.
usually what they're called. I think like Domino's has something that's called like uh Domino's has like it's like Wisconsin 6 cheese pizza.
What? I'm
Wisconsin.
Googling
Yeah,
this right now.
it's Domino's Wisconsin 6 cheese pizza. It's really good. I mean, it's really good. It's like looking at it right now. It's feta, provolone, cheddar, parmesan, cheese with 100% real mozzarella, sprinkled with oregano. I'm not really sure where the Wisconsin comes from.
We're just cheesy people.
Yeah. All right. Caitlin, Houston, Texas is in the building. We got Georgia in the building from Jennifer. We got Detroit in the building. All right. All over the place. No one from surprise, no West Coasters yet.
No, maybe
West
it's a little
Coasters in the
early for
chat.
them. What time is it in California? It's 4. They're still at
Yes,
work.
4. Oh, probably people still at work too.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, it's about 4 after, so like let's go. What are we talking about today?
You know, I am super excited today, and I think I went down to like a little bit of a rabbit hole because number one of my favorite topics to talk about is networking because it is so important for your job search nowadays more than ever. And the reason that I went down a little rabbit hole is because I wanted to talk about AI for networking today, but also I just thought like, why don't we talk a little bit about like AI for your job search in general and what we can be using there? What's like the good versus the bad when it comes to AI? Because there is like debates going on about is it even okay for candidates to use AI, or is that cheating? What is that? So I've got some opinions, and I came here to share them with you today.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm pretty sure the answer is no, it's not cheating because everyone's doing it.
Well, we've had this chat before, haven't we, Kadisha?
Did we?
I mean, that is my opinion. That is very much my opinion. What do you think about that?
I mean, at this point, everyone's using it, or it just depends on like how or what, or um, it reminds me of. It just depends, I guess. But I mean, we're just talking about job candidates. I mean, I could and you can use AI to make a resume that makes us look like an accomplished, rocket scientist. I think that's wrong.
Right.
We're obviously not that. I
Right.
think that form is wrong, and that's extreme. But like when people just they go through one YouTube tutorial, or they go through like those 12-hour data science, tutorials one time, and
Yeah.
then make their resume seem like they've been studying data science for 20 years. Stuff like that. I think is wrong, right? So
Yeah.
there's definitely like, it's not black and white anymore, but it's definitely like just it always hurts the person in the end. So
Absolutely. And we see that a lot of times, with the recruiters that I've been speaking with lately, they have been telling me that, you know, it is harder than ever to get a resume from a person and know whether or not this is a genuine resume. Because before, you would put your stuff down on paper and, you would take the time to think about it. And now people are just tossing their information at a bot and having it like write the perfect resume for this job. And then, the company hire or they invite you for an interview, and then the recruiter talks to you and you know nothing about data. And it is painfully obvious. And this is just a big waste of time, and they're going to know that, and this recruiter is going to get such a bad impression of you that you're going to like get blacklisted from the company. And they, in the ATS system, there is a spot where you can put notes. Yeah, you can put a note on a person, and then anybody at the company who has access to the ATS, they can see what jobs you've applied for in the past, and they can see that note, and they can see that you lied on your resume. Not interviewing you. Not going to have that happen again.
ooh, I didn't know
So
that.
telling the truth is important.
I did not know that. I didn't know that there's like a blacklist for ATS.
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily a blacklist, but you can definitely write comments. So when I was using my ATS system, I would open it up and I would see the application that a person had sent for this particular job. And then, of course, I can see all of the applications that they've sent for other jobs too. And I can go back and see like if they've had an interview, what happened there. And there might even be some kind of like icon next to the person. So all that is stored, guys. All that
So
is stored.
would every company that uses Workday see like everyone's Workday's applications everywhere?
Not everywhere, but inside the company.
Ah, okay.
So
Okay.
if you applied for like 10 different jobs within the company, yeah, Jennifer, hi, nice to see you here. Yeah, we're talking about the ATS, like the greenhouse or the workday. And it like not everywhere across different companies, but inside that company. So I can't see like if I'm working for Wayfair, I can't see the application that you sent to Amazon, for example. But if you sent 10 applications to Wayfair, I can see all of them.
Hmm.
And they're connected to your profile. So as soon as I see your resume pop up for a certain job, I see, okay, what's going on here? And then I investigate. And as you guys know, as you've heard me say before, if I have question marks in my head as a recruiter, that is not a good thing. I want periods and exclamation marks. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Right. So yeah, I love your perspective on that. I think honesty is the best policy when it comes to the job search.
Excellent. I mean, and Workday sets it up to where it's pretty much easy to just apply to like multiple jobs. Because usually if it's like, they save your information and stuff like that. So
Mm,
but all right. Do we have a presentation today?
we do. Let's show it. Oh, I should I bring up the Wisconsin 6 cheese pizza tab?
My tab's open. But,
I'll
uh,
spare you guys. That's making me hungry. Man, don't talk to a
y'all got
Wisconsin
Domino's
person
over
about
there?
pizza. What's that?
Is there Domino's over there?
I don't know whether there's Domino's in Mexico. For sure, we have Little Caesars. So if we get like one of those like ready to go like pizza places, we usually go to Little Caesars.
Hmm.
They have the stuffed crust. It's pretty good.
I don't really like stuffed crust. Like,
No,
just I don't know. No,
not.
cheese is supposed to be on the pizza, not inside the crust.
All right, sounds like we're gonna have to agree to disagree on that. All right. Well, that being said, wow, we got some like Australia and Ghana here. Nice to see you guys here. Thanks for joining us. All right. So, well, that being said, I would like to start out by talking about, AI overall for the job search, like what is going on there? There are so many different people who create products for the job search and they all think that they're great. And I have a lot of opinions about the ones that I've seen. I can't say that I've seen all of these products that are out there. However, I have very strong opinions about the ones that I've seen, and I'm super happy to share those with you today. Of course, without naming any names. But overall, when it comes to using AI for your job search, I am very much of the opinion that you can and should be using AI to support you with your job search. Like Kadisha said earlier, people are using it. People are using it. You can and should be using it too, period. Because what we're doing with AI is we're formulating things and we're gaining efficiency. And efficiency, as we've seen, is like super, super important when it comes to the job search. Because if a job is posted, there are going to be, I don't know, within the first hour, there are probably going to be already 100 applications in, and the person who posted the job is already like scrolling through resumes. So speed is important. However, what a bad use of AI would be is letting it take over the thinking for you. And unfortunately, what I've seen from a lot, and I don't want to say all of the tools that are out there, but a lot of the tools that are out there is that it simply advertises itself as like a set it and forget it kind of thing. And then it does the thinking for you. And this is never to your advantage, ever. And the reason why is because, like Kadisha said earlier, you've done that one, that one data science tutorial or whatever, or series of tutorials on YouTube, or you get that Google certificate. And then all of a sudden you give your old resume that you made, and you tell it that you did this data certificate. And then it'll just take that information that you gave it about you plus the job description, and it will just make a resume that is perfect for this job description. But that means it just has to make stuff up because it doesn't have enough information about you. So it's going to take over the thinking for you. And what's going to happen in the end is that the output that you are putting out into the world isn't in your voice. It does not reflect reality, and it's going to leave a bad taste in the mouth of people who could potentially actually really want to hire you. All right. So we're using it, yes, to help. Sorry,
Let's say,
Kadisha?
which is unfortunate when I was thinking about letting AI think for you, which I say you should not do, and then I think about the Waymo, the cars. Like, unfortunately, folks are allowing. Uh, I don't know. I would never do that, but like I think the fact that we're at a place where folks will, we get in driverless cars and um cars that can't close their own doors, apparently.
Mm.
If you leave the door open, I think folks, if like Door Dashers or something, get pinged to close the door. But I mean, if folks are trusting driverless cars, unfortunately, we're not thinking too much when we just use these, AI job thingies to just do whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the thing about the driverless car is that you're like you're literally putting your life in its hands. And
Yeah.
I feel like you're doing the same thing with your job search. I mean, it's
Mm.
not going to kill you. It's not going to jump out of the screen and like literally attack you or drive you into a pole or something. But the job, like your job is so important, like especially in the US, like it's integral to like who we are as people. So like letting it take over that for you, not a good look. Not a wise move. That's okay because there are good ways to use it and we can talk about some of the good ways to use it. So I've broken this down into like, the good and the bad AI for different types of use cases, all related to your job search. So we're going to talk about like LinkedIn profile, resume, interviews, and then at the end, networking. So starting out with the LinkedIn profile, there is a good way to use AI to help you write a good LinkedIn profile. And like I said before, um, help it have it help you get aligned to what it is that you want. So have it help you align yourself to a specific role. So when you give that resume bot, for example, you give it your old resume, all it has there is that information that you wrote down a couple years ago and nothing more. Maybe you put a couple extra sentences to update about your most recent job. But for example, if you're pivoting and for example, you're going into data, basically what you put there is not having to do with data. And we want to make sure when we're submitting whatever we put out there, whether it be the LinkedIn profile, whether it be, what we're talking about in interviews or our resume, we want to always be putting out there what is specifically related and aligned to the job that we want, not what we had before, and not just aligned to what we've done, the job that we want. So we can be talking to it and saying like, hey, for this specific type of job, what is, could you help me formulate a new headline? Or could you help me improve my about section? And you're not just giving it your old information. You're not just giving it your old LinkedIn profile. It needs a lot more context. So talk to it about like all the stuff that you've done, the projects that you've worked on, all of the things from your old jobs too that were somehow related to data, even if that was a very small portion of what you did in the past. And if you do that, you're going to find out that the output that it gives you is much more like closely aligned to where you're going. If you don't give it that input, it's going to be aligned to where you've been, which is
I
not
think
going to help
that's
you.
I think that's the also the missing link when usually people just take their current resume and then just say, "Hey, this is a job, remake the new one."
Yeah.
Um, because one, most likely the maybe your current resume doesn't have those stories where you can just write them all out, which like we do with our students. It's like in the beginning, like write all these stories out. And it seems like, hey, why are we doing this? And then after a while, they realize why. But that's the type of stuff you can train your GPT for, train your AI for if you're using Claude. I'm not sure who's on the team bandwagon of the GPT exodus to Claude, but but you can train your Claude project with all these stories and not just your resume or regular resume because most likely it's just not enough.
Mm,
And also if you want to focus on like how like in business there's like product market fit. I think that there's like job market fit whenever you're trying to think of the skills that you have, the stories that you have, what's being asked for in the market, and what was the third one? I think that was it. Anyways, but the idea is like you got to make sure you're really telling the AI or whatever it is to don't just make stuff up or just add things that's just not there, but really translate what you bring to the table already. So
mm.
that, but that's like I don't know, that's like a missing step that like no one really does. And that's why a lot of these like AI generated everything is just awful.
Yeah. And I think also that's part of the reason why people resonate so much with like the resume maker bot, because it says it's going to give you a result in like a minute or 30 seconds or whatever. And it gives you something in 30 seconds. What it gives you, I wouldn't be putting that out there. And you'll see too, if you want to actually get a good result, you'll see what it gives you. And then you'll have to spend time, retroactively, like going back and editing the output that it gave you. So I've seen people waste tons and tons of time with that. If you take the time to set up a good custom GPT, maybe you put 2, maybe 3 hours in getting that thing set up. But then how many times are you going to be applying? How much time are you going to spend on having your LinkedIn profile get optimized? How many mock interviews are you wanting to have it do with you? If you put that 3 hours in at the beginning and then you save yourself that half hour every time you do a new resume times 100, 150, or sometimes even 200 applications, I don't know, you do the math. So, when it comes to LinkedIn, the good AI is having it help you align yourself to the next role. What is bad, like Kadisha said, is like being super vague. Because if you're super vague and you just say like, rewrite this for me, it's going to give you crap in, it's going to be crap out. So let's avoid doing that. It'll give you something that sounds good, but it's not targeted for where you're going next. And that being said, I love to harp on resumes because this is the biggest one. The worst thing is the resume generator tool. So what I love and what I've seen great results with is the custom GPT for the job search. I can't say it enough. I can't say it loud enough. You get it set up and you set yourself up for success. Put all that data in there, all that information about all the great things that you've done in the past that align with where you're going next. And it's going to give you really good output every time. So another thing is that, it could do anything that you want. So it helps to know, what is a good resume? Tell it like what your bullet points should be looking like. And all of this information is available on the internet. You can even ask it, you know, set me up for success here. Let's create a custom GPT. And I want you to tell me, what does a good successful resume look like? We're using XYZ bullets. We're putting skills there. We're keeping it to 1 to 2 pages. You can give it parameters. So when it comes to bullets, for example, you can say, bullets in XYZ format, and then, keep it to 10 to 14 words so that it fits well within the template that you give it. So that way, you know that the output is like really on target each time, and you're not spending a ton of time, whittling it down, reworking it, reformatting it. You don't have to spend time on that. Bad AI, the resume maker tool, it just has 1 page of information about you. It's going to give you a really pretty format, and it's going to look really nice. Although some of them I've seen, like they'll give you like 3 or 4 pages if you let them. And I don't know why they allow that. It's not like nobody wants to see a 4-page resume. So it should be on 1 to 2 pages. But the formatting, generally, the look of it, it's going to be nice and pretty, but you're going to, again, get that bad output. And I don't know if any of you who are on the stream right now have tried like an application bot. I would love to hear from you what your experience was with that, because I have worked with people who've used the application bots before, and I have never had anyone land anything except a scam. So I've had people like be offered interviews for scam jobs, and then people are like trying to get their personal information and stuff. But it's like these are the bots where you give it your resume, and then not only does it create the new customized resume for you every time, or it just sends out that one resume to a bunch of jobs, but then it like actually proactively applies to the jobs for you without you even knowing at the time what it's applying for.
I
So
don't see those too much as often as it used to. That used to be like really big, like the auto
yeah,
apply ones, and then they had the
yeah.
the Chrome extensions. I don't see them as often, gladly, but yeah, I just knew that just nonstop red flags when those were like really popular, nonstop red
Yeah.
flags.
Yeah. And, unfortunately, people are still using them. And I got so bothered by this. Like, I had a couple of clients who were using them, and then, it would get like 800 applications out there and nothing but like scams coming back. And then they would ask me, like, what do you think of this? So I would go and like look. And of course, you go to these sites and there are referrals on the page, like, John Smith at Google. And then I would go to Google and literally search for John Smith, current employee, former employee. There was no one named John Smith at this company. So, I mean, I'm pretty good on LinkedIn. I'm a pretty good LinkedIn sleuth. I have never been able, in the small amount of research that I've done, I've never been able to actually, yeah, find anyone who's landed an actual job using. I don't want to say that nobody has, but yeah, I don't recommend it.
I thought you were about to say you've never found a John Smith at Google. I was about to
Oh, there
say,
probably is a John Smith. Sorry if
yeah.
you're John Smith at Google. We can look into that later if we've got some time left. All right. So I don't see any comments. So like maybe none of you have tried it. Good for you. Let's not do that. Okay. So interviews. What is good? It's not something that's like doing the thinking for you. So it's going to help you, prepare for your interview. If you give it the job description, you give it your resume and you say, help prepare me for this job. The first interview is with the recruiter. So come up with a list of 20, 30 potential interview questions that I could be asked for this role. And then you start thinking about, okay, what are the types of questions that I'm going to be asked? And you can start practicing based on that. That is a really good way to use AI. I've even set up ChatGPT without it being a custom GPT to run mock interviews with me before. And I tell it beforehand, okay, so We're gonna run this. We're gonna run this interview, and then when we're done, we'll go through and evaluate my responses to these different questions, and make sure that we're delivering answers in the star format. And I want you to evaluate me on whatever criteria, and you can set it up with the criteria beforehand. So I've seen really good results with that, because when you're going into interviews, anybody who's ever done their first technical interview before, scary. And practice makes better. How was your first technical interview, Kadisha?
Not good. Not
Right?
good.
Exactly. So having some practice and having some idea about, what are the kind of questions that might come up, is a really good way to use AI to prepare yourself. Okay. And then bad AI. So I don't know if you guys have seen these, but there are like interview assistant bots. Well, first of all, you can get a whole fake you to do the interview. Just don't do that. This is horrible. Obviously, nobody's going to want to work with you. And like, um, there have been like agents of North Korea who use these bots to interview with tech companies in the US. And then basically they're just like economic spies or whatever. There's like corporate spies.
Oh
Have you heard of
wow.
this?
No, that's ridiculous. That sounds like a national threat.
Yeah.
National security. But I was also thinking that the new like thing or like is gonna be folks using agents to like work all these remote jobs, like
Mm,
multiple remote jobs, and that's gonna be the new like course selling thing. I'm gonna teach you how to make your own like how to work 10 different remote jobs just through
right.
agents. That's gonna be the next passive income thing.
Right. Okay.
Anyone watching and find want to sell that, become a millionaire, there you go.
Mhm.
That's gonna be it.
Awesome. Okay, so those exist. Like there are bots out there that will actually do the interview for you. It looks like a person, so we're not doing that. But there are also like interview assistants that will be up and running during your interview, and then it'll be giving you information while the questions are being asked, and it's like a teleprompter. It goes in front of the video. So you'll see the person there, the interviewer, and then there will be text coming across the screen. And I would say, if you've ever had to stand up and like read something in front of a group, you do not sound like you. You sound like a robot. And interviewers can see that happening. Like, what is going on with this person? Because there's always two different things going on in the interview. Number one, is the person I'm interviewing, do they have the skills to do the job? And number two, are they a good fit for me and the company? So we want to give them the good fit. We want to give them the person that we are. So this is just basically like a big distraction. And I feel like it doesn't leave a good impression. All right. Now let's get to networking. This is what we came here to talk about today. So thanks for your patience with me in getting to this point. So when it comes to networking, you definitely can use AI in a good and positive way. You know, I think one of the things that people are most scared of when they come to me for support with their job search is networking. They say, I don't think this is something that I can do. I'm not the type of person that goes out there and talks to random strangers. I don't feel comfortable sending a message to somebody I don't know on the internet. And this is something that you can use to really help you set yourself up for success. Coming up with the strategy that you're going to be using, figuring out who is it that I'm reaching out to, who are the key people here at a particular company that are going to be the ones to talk to. Like, who are those key people? What to talk about when you actually get that networking chat with somebody. Like, what are the topics we're going to be talking about? And then, of course, the thing that I'd like to talk about with you guys today is how to write a good message. So these are all things that you can be asking to help you formulate, get ideas, but what we're not doing is having it do it for you. Especially because there are also bots that you can have inside your LinkedIn profile to do networking on your behalf. And that does not align with the terms and conditions of LinkedIn. So if you set that up in your LinkedIn account, you can get banned. And that is one of the worst things that you could have happen for you, because so much happens on LinkedIn nowadays when it comes to recruiting and finding people. I need to see your profile. If I can't, like, if you don't have a lot of connections, if you don't have a history on LinkedIn, like, honestly, you could just be a bot. If you only got a couple of connections, and I see that as a recruiter, I think this person is maybe trying to scam me, because there are so many people out there who are using bots and making fake profiles in order to, sell or, get those jobs, or for the North Korean spies, so we need to have this. And because of all the fake resumes that are out there, or the, non truthful resumes that are out there, if I were recruiting today, for everybody that I was considering inviting for an interview, you better believe I'd be clicking on that LinkedIn profile before inviting them, because you only have one profile. You can't be faking that. Whereas, if you send out 500 resumes, they can all say something different, but you've got that one set of text on your LinkedIn profile. And I would definitely be clicking on that to check that you're a real person and that your messaging more or less aligns with the resume that I've got in front of me. I wouldn't say it doesn't have to be one-to-one, but the jobs need to line up. You need to have connections, and you need to have like some kind of work history minimum. So don't do networking automation stuff. That's what's going to get you banned from LinkedIn. Yeah. All right. So should we talk
It's
about
like
what comes?
getting banned from LinkedIn is like getting banned from Chuck E. Cheese. Like, come on. Well, getting banned like Six Flags or like Disney World. Like, come on. You have to be really stupid.
Yeah, you really have to try it. And there are companies out there that, like, the whole company gets banned because they're trying to sell through LinkedIn, and they'll put the like connect automations. So there are some companies that they just don't appear on LinkedIn anymore because they violated the terms and conditions. So don't let that be you. If you want to work in tech, you need a LinkedIn profile. All right. So that being said, what's going on with networking? So that's what we came here to talk about today. Who are we talking to? And actually, let me just make this go away for the moment. Who are we talking to? What are we saying to them? And how are we using AI to support us with the outreach? So I always say there are a couple of different types of people that you can be talking to. So number one, did you already apply for a job? If so, you can be reaching out to people who are connected potentially with that role. So people who work at the company, people who are decision makers, like, for example, the recruiter, the hiring manager, person who's going to be your boss down the road, and a person who has the job right now that you're applying for. So if you're looking for a role as a data analyst, can we be having chats with some other data analysts? If they have the same role as us, definitely not a decision maker, but number one, they could be interviewing you. They could be involved in some capacity in the interview process. And number two, they have insider information, and they might be able to recommend you, which also has weight. So let's think of the three types of people. And if you're like applying for a job that maybe it's like worded a little bit differently, the job title, than what you've seen before, and you're not quite sure who the hiring manager is going to be, then we can definitely be using this to like kind of sift through and get some more ideas as to who we're reaching out to on LinkedIn. Like, who is that person who's maybe going to be interviewing me? Who is the boss?
Oh, usually what I would like to do is like anytime you got like an interview coming up, they always send the email of like who's going to be on a panel. I'd always like send them a connection request and like introduce myself. That's like a really good play.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then, creating the message for that. I always like to have the line in there, I'm interested in this job because, and then tell them, like, give them what they want, tell them why you're a good fit for this particular job. So that's a really good way. But also pre-interview, if you've just like, let's say you've sent out your interview, you've sent out your resume, you sent the application for the job, and you haven't been offered an interview just yet. So, if you haven't been offered an interview just yet, in order to increase your probability of being offered that interview, you can be reaching out to different people too. So, this is when, we're sending a message to the recruiter or the hiring manager or somebody who has a job that you want. So, all of those are really great uses of using ChatGPT or other Gen AI tools in order to gain traction there.
I also want to just kind of a brief thing, but so one of our students, she connected. She had an interview early last year. I don't know,
Mhm.
sometime in the summer, something. And she connected with the hiring manager. She didn't get the interview, right? But then the hiring manager reached back out to her on LinkedIn. I think, yeah, something like that, and reconnected to bring back to interview, and then she got the job. So
Right.
um, I don't know. I just think LinkedIn is just like that's just where it's at. Like you can't be. It's just too much. You're just like shooting yourself in the foot if you're like not like networking on LinkedIn
Yeah.
legitimately. There's
Yeah.
so many. It's sometimes I don't know. Sometimes people just don't like playing the long game, but sometimes it doesn't have to wait that long. But I wouldn't think it's not working just because it's not instant. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just one of those things that just compounds, and when it happens, it's gonna happen, and you're just gonna be glad that you did. You don't want to wait too long or
Right.
stop too early.
Absolutely. And that being said, I mean, you don't only need to be networking with people who work at companies that you've applied for. So, for example, I encourage people to come up with a list of companies that they're interested in. They haven't posted a job in 5 months. That's totally cool. Down the line, maybe come January, come March, they might be hiring for a role that could fit you. And in that case, wouldn't it be amazing if you had already connected with 2 or 3 people at that company so that they already know your name? And if they're the people who have the job that you want, they probably already know that they're hiring another person into this role. And at that point, you don't even have to you don't even have to I don't wanna say you don't have to apply because you still have to apply, but the goal of applying is to speak with a person, and then they're referring you, they're telling the hiring manager, "Hey, I talked to this person, I think they'd be a great fit." And a lot of times in tech, these people will get money for that. If you get hired, they find you, they think that you're a good fit, you get hired, they get 5K. Win-win. So, absolutely. I feel like, Kadisha, what you said is hitting the nail on the head. It is a long game, networking. And I think one of the things that people like kind of keeps people from doing it, they feel a little slimy, right? Like, oh, I'm going to go and ask somebody for something. But you can be giving too. I mean, you've got valuable information.
You should be giving. It
Yeah.
should be like I don't like the ones that even I get where it's like that's like immediately. I even got one like a few weeks ago. It was someone who we went to the same school. So yeah, she did the connection, the commonality.
Mhm.
Everything was like on par except the first message, the intro, the connecting message was like immediately asking me to like refer her to the company. Like I don't even, it's like I, I don't know you and stuff like that. Like it's not giving anything. It's just, hey, can you just see like it's just like going on LinkedIn and seeing, oh, which person, because you can see like who in the alumni who you went to school with works at the company, but the
Mhm.
first message can't just be immediately asking some stranger to like give a referral for you. Like that's
Yeah.
just like no, 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 that's just not good. Someone's asking like what's a good pickup line. I like that term, pickup line strategy.
Oh, good pickup line. Can
I
we
like
can we put that can we put that up on the screen? All
when
right.
it
So when it
comes down to
comes
cold outreach. Hey there, when it comes down to cold outreach, aiming to establish a good rapport, what's a good pickup line or strategy to write those lines so that you don't get ignored? I mean, that's perfect timing.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it on these calls before, the 3 Cs, right? Kadisha just mentioned it, commonality. What do you have in common with the person? Compliment, then you compliment the person. Something that you're doing, I find really interesting. You made this post yesterday. I thought it was really cool. Made me think about X, Y, and Z. And then the third C, chat. Would you be up for like a 20-minute chat early next week about your job at the company that you work at? So I was on a call this week with a job seeker who, we were working on writing out these connection request messages, and there was a woman at a company who she was very clearly the person that he needed to speak to. And he said, I feel slimy reaching out to this woman because I don't want her to think like I'm asking her out. So, talking about a pickup line, like we don't want it to actually sound like a pickup line. And I find like if you're a guy and you're writing these outreach messages, like when it comes to the topic, when you do that connection part or the chat part, say, would you be open to a 20-minute chat next week about, and then write what you want to talk about. So that way it sounds a lot less like a pickup line. I've gotten them before. Have you gotten pickup lines on LinkedIn before, Kadisha?
You mean like dating? No, thank God,
Oh,
no. Or you mean
no?
like,
Like
no,
people who, I don't
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. Like the
their
ones I just
thought.
said, like I've gotten a lot of them that were just like not good. Like it was just like immediately asking me for like, hey, you work at this, you work here, can you refer me to somewhere? Or just
Yeah.
immediately asking. And then they don't say anything about like my content or anything. And this is like forever. Like I've been posting for such a long time. There's like so much easy stuff to just like pinpoint, like, oh wow, I love the post that you did like last week about whatever, blah, blah, blah. And
Mhm.
just even like maybe get more information or ask about that or something like that. I don't know. So I can just by that I can tell that people are like very lazy about like if I can tell that this was like copied and paste,
Mm,
I'm not gonna respond. I'm just
right.
not.
I mean,
I love personal stuff. Like I love like a legitimate like personal stuff. Like I will respond most likely because I will pretty much respond to like really personal when I can tell and not something where like it's asking me like so forward about can you I wouldn't say ask me like I like also I've done stuff where when I was first doing coffee chats I would have just back and forth conversations
mhm.
too. Like to me that's another win because like some not everyone just has the time or sometimes that's a big of a commitment. Like to me like a second, I don't know, the another low hanging fruit is just a back and forth conversation in the DMs. Like that's
Oh,
good
yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Whatever like gets you that little connection. It doesn't have to be immediate. Like you said, it's more of an investment. And then later down the line, when there is something relevant that comes up, you've already had that touch point. So then you can come back to them and say, "Hey, I saw this job open. What do you think about it? Do you know anything about it?" And then we're chatting again. And then
Hmm.
if they do know something about it and then you're interested, then that's when you can ask them, "Would you be open for a chat about this?" You know?
That's me like all the time. Like I
Yeah.
do that all the time. I say this, I put this in my content, like I'm not even joking. Like literally like 80% of like the opportunities and stuff that I have like or whatever today or
Mhm.
whatever comes through comes from majority of like the core network that I built at like 1,500 followers.
Right.
So that's like and again, that was wow, I don't know, that was like sure 2022. So
Mhm.
yeah, so it's a big deal.
Yeah.
So networking, it's a big deal. It compounds. It's literally like putting money in the S&P 500. Not even joking.
Right? And speaking of 2022, I think that might be the first time I messaged you. So, and we're sitting here today having these chats, you know?
Yeah,
So, guys, proof is in the pudding. It works.
and
And
it's a
it's
good
not
pudding.
gonna be
It's some good pudding.
yeah.
It's some good pudding.
I'm enjoying the pudding. I hope that you are too.
Oh
I hope
yeah,
everybody out there is enjoying the pudding.
it's got Oreo pieces and everything.
Little swirl.
Hmm. Yeah,
Right. Yeah. So definitely ABN, always be networking. It is not a short game, it is more of a long game. Definitely be doing it. I don't want anybody out there to feel slimy. Sometimes because so many people feel like they're allergic to networking. Sometimes I even feel like you're doing people a favor when you're the one to reach out to them and say,
hmm
hey, I think that's cool. And you start the conversation. Because like a lot of times people also want to like they want to be doing it, but they feel they feel a little bit inhibited by that too. So, I mean, there's so much good to receive, but also to give when it comes to networking.
And
And
people
as
like to
like,
talk about themselves, really. I mean, for the most part, if you allow them to, like,
yeah.
they love to talk about themselves. It's like it makes them feel honored when it's like I always like to tell people, like, ask them about like love your like what do you say? Well, I would tell people, coach people to, network or to do coffee chats with like people to learn from them per se.
Mhm.
So just like folks like they would just love to be like people be honored to see like, wow, you're really interested in like my career journey and path. Like, absolutely. They will talk your ear off if you
Right.
do it legitimately.
Exactly. Because, at some point in the past, they were where you are right now.
Mhm.
They were the person who was like, learning SQL at 10 p.m. so that they could crush some interview that was coming up for their first data job. They've been there. And then if they see that somebody's looking up to them like, wow, you accomplished that, and I look up to you for that, and I wish that I could be in your position, like they honestly do feel honored. And if they've got interviews coming up or something, like that's a confidence boost for them too.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's like good things all around. I don't think I've ever had anything bad come out of just networking. It's a good thing,
It's not.
guys.
I mean, essentially, like I always say, like people like they're not. Well, I mean, I'm an introvert, so but like I never the idea of like networking on LinkedIn versus like just like talking to people in the public or like just
Mm,
regular like interactions. It's like a completely different. Like
yeah.
completely different. Or heck, I mean, we were even more, we had even more, courage for MySpace. Or Facebook. Like
I had Facebook. I never had MySpace.
you didn't have MySpace?
No, I didn't.
Wow. So you missed out on the top 8 era. Wow.
I think I did.
Put a top 8 in the chat for those who remember MySpace. Like no one else had MySpace? Oh my god.
Does it still exist?
I don't let me look.
I think I need to Google that right now. My sorry guys to be off topic right now.
It's still up. It's like a music thingy.
Awesome.
I don't know what I'm looking at here. All right,
Wizard
Wizard
Kelly
Kelly.
did.
Yeah, MySpace. There we go. I know I ain't the only one over here. Come on, top. You missed the top 8 era? Oh my gosh.
I guess I just wasn't that cool, maybe.
I mean, I wasn't cool either, but it was like the social network to be on.
I guess.
MySpace. Um, yeah, I can't believe you didn't have MySpace. Yeah, top 8 was a big thing. Like it was a big thing. Like you saw it, like top 8 was a big thing. Like,
I don't even know what top 8 means.
it was like your top 8 friends. So like when you go on someone's profile and you see
Oh,
like how like imagine LinkedIn, right? And it's like top 8 connections. And
okay.
you can physically choose who your the top 8 would be on there. Imagine that. That was MySpace. And like, can you imagine like let's say like, you know, we're no longer friends tomorrow. You're on my top. I remove you, right? And then I replace you with like Caitlyn or something. Like
Whoa,
that's serious. Yeah.
that is
Dude.
ruthless.
It was a big thing.
Okay,
And
well,
and then yeah, and everyone once you signed up, you had Tom. Tom was in your friend and in your top 8. He was the creator of it. So
oh,
you should look
okay.
up Tom MySpace. Yeah.
Tom MySpace. Okay. I'll be going into the weeds on this later.
Cannot believe you were not on MySpace. Were you on Tumblr?
No, I had Facebook.
Everyone has Facebook. That's not you don't get
No,
any brownie points for that.
no, I don't need brownie points. I had Facebook. That's all I had. Now
Is
I
it
have like LinkedIn.
it was the status. Yes, that was a huge status. Like
Yeah.
like you were not like you would think people were your friends and then you go to your top 8, you're like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa."
Wow. So connections were won and lost.
Yeah, it was serious. Oh yeah, it was like not to go on a tangent. Let me tell you. And then you would learn like how to like do like HTML and CSS and stuff for your background. Like
Uh-huh.
that was out. I can go on a tangent about MySpace all day.
Uh-huh.
That was the good old days of the internet.
All right.
Um,
Well, it sounds like that was the thing to be networking on back in the day.
oh yeah.
Today, LinkedIn is a thing, but also in person. So, Kadisha, like you said, I don't know if you feel like when you go to like events and stuff, like it can get a little overwhelming because like everyone's there,
I don't go to events.
right? You should, not you specifically, Kadisha, but I do recommend it. Going
Yeah,
to
yeah,
events
yeah,
is
yeah. You should
good.
go. You should, yeah, yeah.
But like for me, it gets overwhelming. Like the last time I went to like a tech event, it was like, I don't know, there would be people standing around like waiting in line to talk to you. It's always interesting when you go to the tech events and there are a lot of times
Dude, I can Tumblr was the thing too. Oh my gosh. I was big on Tumblr. Tumblr was like my thing. Mafia Wars. Oh my gosh.
oh my god, I think I missed like a whole era.
You missed the whole era. Like literally coding, making like the fancy like glittery black backgrounds on MySpace.
Mhm.
That was a thing. Like
Yeah,
you missed out on it. Oh
I
my
did.
goodness.
Sorry guys, but thanks for filling me in. I appreciate it. But yeah, back to the events. Like I just feel like, the last time I went to a marketing event, there are always like a lot of people who are looking for their next role, right? Because that's when you start kind of like leaning into networking. And at some point, like, people ask, what are you doing here? And then I'd be like, yeah, I'm a tech career coach and I'm interested in the topics. And they were talking about AI and stuff. And then all of a sudden, people would hear that. And then there would be a line. And then you feel pressure. Like there are people who want to talk to the career coach or whatever it is. And then it's like, oh, how do I handle this? But online, it's just like, you'll reply when you're ready, So I feel like I can get a lot more awkward when there are a ton of people in the room and it's like I have to like in the moment strategize about like who I'm going to talk to next.
Oh, well, yeah, because
Um,
you're the person that, well, as soon as you say career coach or recruiter, you're the person everyone wants to talk to.
right. And there were a lot cooler people there than me. There was a guy who was in charge of like the robotic automation at Amazon.
Yeah,
And he
but
was on the speaker
he's not the
panel.
recruiter. All right.
No.
Folks want to talk to recruit. Like you got connections. Like you are like anytime people are recruiters, like career coaches, like, oh,
Mm,
this person has all the doors. They can open all the doors.
yeah.
Robotics, whatever. Nah.
But he's a decision maker at Amazon. Like if you want to do AI robotic stuff at Amazon, he's the guy to talk to. So he had a
Okay,
line
that's
too.
true.
Yeah. So yeah. So I, personally, and also just because of location wise, if I want to talk to somebody in New York, well, I'm not flying up there, so LinkedIn's a place to make it happen.
Mhm.
So yeah, be networking. Guys, do you have any questions about networking? I feel like I yammered on for quite a while here.
Is it more beneficial to go to free events versus paid events? Hmm.
Good question. Have you had any experience with this, Kadisha?
I mean, I'm not really an event person. Like the only
Mm,
events I can say I've been to lately or in the past couple of years were definitely paid. It was like conferences or stuff like that. I mean, the free events, I mean, to me, I mean, it depends. Like, I mean, let me think about it. Like, for example, like, I mean, are we talking like hiring events or are we talking like, you know, like for example, I mean this is random, but
mm,
there's a city in some state called Golden whatever, right? And once a year they have a huge event where it's like 1,000 golden retrievers all just conglomerate in like one spot. I'm saying that because it's like, are you talking about like any events, like a local event? Because usually like in your local spots, there's probably a great amount of people there too.
yeah.
But it's like hiring. I don't know. I've never been to like a hiring event, but I guess it
Mm,
depends what kind of events are there. I've mainly been to like I think you can find a gold mine in all of them.
yeah.
Especially the free events, especially if they're like in your local like area.
Yeah.
More so networking association groups. Hmm. I think it depends there. I've never seen a free one. I mean, if I see something that's like a free networking thing, I just feel like I'm gonna get sold something. It
Mm,
just depends. It just depends. It just
yeah,
depends on like who's gonna be there, what it's about. If you can kind of get an idea who's gonna be there and you want to be in rooms with those people, I would just go regardless.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and I think like all events are different and it depends like where you are and who's arranged them. Like I do find like that little paywall is a filter. So, the people who are, willing to pay something, excuse me, to go and see someone speak, like usually the panel's really good, right?
okay.
Because people are paying to get in there. There's usually some kind of refreshment. It's a little bit like it's a little bit nicer. And then if you go to a free event, like, I'm thinking of like these tech walks, for example. I don't know if you guys have heard of tech walks. I'm not sure if they're free or that's a paid group. But it's just like a really casual way to like to meet people in tech, like have a walk in the morning before you go to work. And I don't think there's any hierarchy there necessarily. It's like just take a walk with people who are in your industry. So
Right, that's really nice.
yeah. So Marcus is trying it.
Excellent.
Awesome. How are you using AI, Marcus? Are you asking it who to look for, or are you having it help you generate a very good, concise networking outreach message?
I saw this video of this guy. I mean, he's obviously like a joker, but I guess he lives in like the DC area. And in the
Hmm.
video, he's like handing out his resume in front of the physical building of one of those big four consultant buildings, like just handing out his resume and saying like, "Hey, can you like help me get a job?" It's funny.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I'm wondering, has is that a thing? Does anyone have like would anyone have like the I don't know, go to like the actual physical locations and just network? Hey, I mean, when you think about it, that's one of the best places to network. The
Yeah, but I
physical locations of
I
these
think
places.
don't you think if you like somebody just like came up in front of your office like when you're on your way into the building, don't you think that like that might feel a little creepy?
Well, see, this is what you gotta do. You have to like sell like burritos and something, like have like a food stand. And
The side hustle.
yeah, like sell
Okay.
lemonade and also just hand out your resume.
Yeah, you know what, you guys, you try this out. Kadisha's advice, try that out, let us know how it goes.
Yeah.
Get the foods get the taco truck up and running, and then
Yeah,
let
and
us know if you land your
people
company.
pay by like getting you exchanging information, like exchanging their LinkedIn or whatever. That's how they pay.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow. Okay, I see you. Okay, that makes sense.
yeah.
I really want somebody to try this.
I really want someone to try it too. Let's we gotta I don't let's try asking people like maybe next week on Wednesday who wants to
Should
try it
we?
or post in the Slack and let's see who wants to for
Yeah,
those who work in like I don't know, like or live in like a big metro area or whatever. Or I mean
yeah,
any area, honestly.
yeah.
Any place with a
Yeah, and I feel like it doesn't even have to be, like, the whole taco truck, like, you could make a huge batch of, like, homemade cookies,
oh yeah, no one's gonna say no to a cookie.
right? And then you can, like, put your QR there, your LinkedIn QR, and be like, "Connect with me for a cookie."
Yes. Yeah, get
Connect
the
for a
and then that
cookie!
would be the wrap. That would be like the wrap, like the plastic wrap. Just get the paper thingy. Oh yeah, that's it.
Oh, man, this is making me wanna go to Google headquarters right now. Connect for a cookie. I think I'm gonna do that.
Do that, film it, and you'll go like viral on all the platforms.
Guys, please try this out. I am begging you, try this out. I wanna
I'm,
know how this works for you.
I'm gonna send you the video of like I gotta remember who it was. I'm gonna send you the video of like where I found it. The idea.
Awesome. Okay. Great. Anything else? Anybody else with any questions in the chat? We're like coming up on the hour.
What do y'all want? If other than that, what topic should we talk about next time?
Yeah. I feel like the AI topic is always draws a lot of attention. Do you guys have any questions about like AI stuff? Is there anything that you'd like to go in a little bit deeper on? Let us know. Oh, also, we should talk about how we can connect. I'm going to present my little slide again. Now I've got Tom MySpace. Does MySpace still exist?
It
Wisconsin cheese
does.
pizza.
Technically it does. Technically it does.
Luckily. So if you guys are on the stream, I think you probably already have met us before in some capacity. So if you want to learn how to be a data analyst, you know that Kadisha is the one to go to. And if you already are a data analyst or whatever, and you need a new job and you're having a hard time, let's have a chat.
Wizard, how can neurodivergent people network effectively?
Mm.
I feel like number one, I don't know. In my opinion, I mean, I feel like really just be yourself. In my opinion, honestly, I would not use that as like or necessarily like think of it as like a crutch. In my opinion, um,
Mm.
that's one in my opinion where you don't want to like. I wouldn't like let it like think like that's well, number one, I mean, whether it's like neurodivergent, whatever it is, like, I mean, I feel like whether you're just like scared to network or you're kind of like scared to put yourself out there, it could be all of the same umbrella. But like, I would just be completely just put yourself out there and not be scared. But if you're just interested in the other person, I feel like that's like the big thing of networking. Like
Yeah.
we're all it's pretty obvious if it's like surface level or like you're just trying to get something out of the next person. But if you're just like genuinely interested and you're asking good questions and you're engaging on it, it doesn't matter. None of that stuff matters. That is how to network effectively, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. I agree 100%.
Which AI platform do you suggest? Well, not what. Apparently, none of them, right? We don't like any of them. Is that where we're at?
Well, I mean, I don't like any of the tools that are out there
Uh,
that are specifically for like job market assistance. But you know, I'm a ChatGPT person. Like, I started with ChatGPT, and I pretty much stuck with it. However, Kadisha has introduced me to some really cool, yeah, some really cool features of what was it that
oh,
you shared?
Gemini, Canvas, their
Yeah,
infographic thing. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm actually like I'm wanting to like look into other tools a little bit more, but I think, you know, whatever is out there now, like when it comes to Gen AI platforms, like they're pretty good. So I don't think I'm the person to say, oh, this one's better than the other one. There are specific use cases, but
Do
for the
companies
job
use
search.
AI detection like teachers do? I would like teachers do. It's funny. I feel like there's teachers that use AI.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. I don't know about like AI detection. I would assume that there are people in companies out there who are using it. I think that's dumb. Like, why do they care? The only thing, so when I was hiring for BI, we said we would send a coding challenge, and then the person who was taking the challenge, like we could see, like it was recorded like a video how they were entering their code. And if it detected a copy paste, it would flash up on the screen and it would give a warning like this person did a copy paste. And that's not something that necessarily would disqualify um, people from getting the job. And I think nowadays it's even less the case that like that I don't think that should disqualify you from getting the job because obviously we should be using these tools to be efficient when it comes to coding, when it comes to programming. So I don't know. I think I'd just be asking myself, like, do I care? Do I care that a company who doesn't want like somebody to use AI is like checking whether I did that? I personally don't because I think that's going to be a company that I'm not going to work for. I'm not going to want to work for because they're not going to exist in 5 years, honestly,
Mm.
behind the curve. Yeah. All right. That being said, this is my new offering, guys. So if you are interested in working together with me, I put all my knowledge into my course, Built to Hire. If you're interested in joining, you'll get access to all of my videos about how to find a job from A to Z and everything in between. And then we have a weekly call on Tuesdays where we go into the weeds about the questions that you have specifically about what you're working on. And also, I'm available during the week in Slack for any questions that come up along the way. So if you are, needing a little bit of support, I really look forward to seeing you there.
Alrighty. Well, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for joining us again tonight.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.